and welcome to the Money on the Table podcast. This is where we talk all things money. We have a community conversation talking about things that maybe we typically don't talk about. So, really excited to have my co host with me, Empressed, and Charlene as well.
Hello.
So, today we're going to be talking about making money or managing money. Which do we think is, more important? I guess there are 365 days in a year. How many days are we getting paid? How many of those days are we actually using the time to manage our money? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, what do you think? Making money or managing money?
I think managing money is definitely, in my opinion, more important because if you manage your money correctly, it can grow. Whereas you can make your money and lose it as quick as you can make it.
Very fair.
Yeah.
What about
Okay.
you, Charlene?
I would say making money. Making money is the most important. Simply because if you don't have the money, what are you managing?
And that's point.
Yeah. I feel like you just need to have the money. Like,
Yeah.
especially because like economically things are getting more expensive.
Mhm.
Bills are rising, like mortgage is rising, rent is rising. So you need the money to actually be able to manage and pay for those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think there's a focus on just constantly working, just bringing that income in, but then actually when it does come now, because you're not managing it, it's just going on unnecessary expenses. Whereas actually, if you put more of a focus, as Empress was saying, then actually you could potentially have more. You might have more money than actually you think, but because you're so focused on chasing,
Yeah.
do you think that could
I think
have an
it
impact?
I think it definitely does have an impact, in the sense of like you said, like if you're always constantly chasing making money, then there won't necessarily be a more structured way to actually be able to manage it. But I do feel like in terms of like making more money, I mean I've come across a lot of people who like are balancing more than one jobs,
Hmm.
like more than one job, sorry.
Yeah.
And I think I asked them like, why do you need
Yeah.
more than one job? And I've met so many different people who have good jobs, like being like a electrician or engineer, but they'll maybe do like taxi driving on the side. And I asked them, I was like, why are you doing that? And then what they would say to me is like, I'm doing it because, everything is really expensive. So it ultimately puts a question mark on, okay, but why is the one job not enough? Like,
Yeah.
are you not managing the
Yeah.
money that you have
Yeah,
already?
definitely.
Yeah.
Or like, why do you need more?
Yeah.
But essentially, I think a lot of people, I think there's a lot of things to kind of consider when you do need to manage money. You thinking about bills. If you have kids, you have to think about your kids. If you're married, you have to think about your home. You have to think
Sure.
about the housing. You have to think about even your spare time. Like those are expenses as well. So yeah, I think definitely we
Yeah.
need more.
Do you have anything to add to that?
But I also think that people are living like paycheck to paycheck a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you were just to manage the money you have and probably cut down on some of the, I don't know, the materialistic things,
Yeah.
then you'd be fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
two jobs thing, I think sometimes it can be very unnecessary to have two jobs. You're just doing it to live up to that lifestyle. When if you manage the money what you're already getting from that one job, you wouldn't have to then break your back working another job. Do you know what I mean?
True. I hear that. I
Agreed.
do hear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Needs and wants,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I think
Yeah.
you've got to weigh that one up.
Yeah.
100%. But then would you say that like jobs need to start paying people more?
100%. Definitely. Definitely. I think especially like in some careers like I don't know, like hairdressing for example, where you've got apprentices, they need to be getting paid more, like
Mhm.
for what they're getting for what they're doing. They're not getting paid enough. Or retail, they're probably
Yeah.
not getting paid enough for what they have to put up with. Like I don't think it's not very justified there.
True. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And what about you, Anish?
Well, I agree with the point. Like, I think given the current climate, it's having one job for some people is a bit of a luxury,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because of the rising cost. People are having to think outside the box. They're having to do that bit extra just to cover their basics.
Yeah.
And also, when we work, we don't just want to work to pay bills. You do want to actually
Yeah.
enjoy yourself as well.
100%.
And I don't think there's any shame in actually enjoying your money as well, So I think, yeah, you're right. I think for me, having a balance of both, I think
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
important to make money and earn a very good income,
Yeah.
but equally be able to manage that and also multiply that so it can make money for you, and think about investing that. So
100%.
yeah, so that's my sort of take on both. But no, I agree. I feel like we could be doing more. People can be doing a lot more to
Yeah.
look at their current lifestyle
Yeah.
and how much they're spending, and finding areas which isn't maybe adding value or isn't like in alignment with their goals and dreams. I'm sure we can all look at our bank statement and find at least one
Yeah.
thing that we could maybe cancel or
Yeah.
reduce.
No,
Reduce.
definitely.
Yeah. So I think that's the importance of
Yeah.
managing money, is that it allows you to have a review and just think, actually, is this still adding value? I remember one time I was paying for a gym membership.
Yeah.
I think I was paying
I think
about
we've all been there.
paying
Yeah.
about £50 a month. And the reality of it, as much as I had the intention, wasn't
Mm.
actually going. That's like £600 a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, I feel like, do you know what? You make a very good point in the sense of like, for the amount that gyms actually are, like you don't actually go as often as you should for how much it
Yeah.
is a month. And I think, yeah, in terms of like, I feel like, but for people who maybe are like gym goers and stuff,
Then it works
Yeah, it's
out for them.
different.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
It
definitely
fits
good.
into their lifestyle a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not saying there's anything wrong with paying that, but if you're not going, if you're not
It's
utilising
good
it, yeah.
point.
So what I try to do is I like to pay as I go now.
Mm.
Yeah, and you
Okay.
can do that at gyms now as
Yeah.
well. You just buy a day
If you wake
pass.
up one day feel like you want to do a workout, you buy it.
Just
Exactly.
buy it, yeah.
Because it fits more my
Yeah.
lifestyle rather than committing to something. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess finding alternatives as well is a good point. But I do also think that people need to be, a bit more ambitious sometimes and progress in their career and upskill so that they can get paid more.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think, the more value you can bring to the table, the more likely you can get you'll get paid more.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess those retail jobs do have a certain salary,
Yeah.
and even hairdressing. But how could you upskill and how could you develop? Is a question that I think people should do. And also
Mm.
sometimes just growing in the job as well. Sometimes
Mm.
people think they have to go outside,
Mm.
but actually asking, how could I grow more? How could I develop? That can help you make more money rather
Yeah.
than maybe taking on a whole new business or a whole
Yeah.
new job, just to earn a bit more money. That's, yeah.
For people who have like maybe like a certain lifestyle, I know obviously you spoke about maybe cutting on certain expenses, but let's say like people who are just used to a certain lifestyle and they've actually accustomed, that's how they've structured their whole life and like scheduled their whole life.
Yeah.
How would you advise them to cut down, or even if it's a case where like, because I've met like a lot of people my age who are very like, I think even one of my friends the other day said that they crave money, and I was like, it's not a substance. It's not food. Like, what do you mean you crave money? I don't understand that. But I think it made me realize that this generation is so focused on
Yeah.
making money, and I think that's where I kind of come from in terms of making money. Is like the society we live in is very. I have a certain lifestyle to uphold,
Yeah.
so therefore I need to have this aspect of my life that's constantly going so I can make I think there's even like I think she's a makeup artist, and like one of the shows she was on, she mentioned how like she loves money and she pretty much works like 72 hours a week. And I'm like,
You're
what?
killing yourself.
Yeah.
Or you're
I'm
honestly
like,
killing
what?
yourself.
And she's like, but I like nice things and I like things like that. So why would I stop working? But what would you say to people like that? There's like, they're very stuck in their ways.
Could you repeat?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's different,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, ultimately they're materialistic driven. So
Yeah.
Can't bring that to the grave, unfortunately.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think everyone's got their own goals and dreams,
Yeah.
and if that works for them, then that works for them. Who are we to tell them how
Yeah,
they should
exactly.
be living? They're putting in the work. So, but you have, as an individual, for me, I'm not necessarily willing to do that.
Okay.
If that makes sense. And I think it's an individual thing. Have I worked crazy hours? Yes, I have. But I think as I get older and actually realize like less is more,
Yeah.
working smart and not hard, and leveraging off that and understanding what that means, because that is also whoever they are, that's their mindset.
Yeah.
They believe they have to work those amount of
Yeah.
hours to earn that amount of money, when actually maybe they could increase their price
Yeah,
for example.
there's ways around
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So I think it's just the mindset piece is what I would say to
Okay.
answer your question. Like learning to shift it and learning to add more value
Yeah.
without putting in so much time. That's what I would say.
Okay. Yeah, that's really good actually.
Making money, you still on the
I
managing?
don't know, I feel like I'm now a bit of in between because I guess if, like you said, if that's a lifestyle you need to uphold
Yeah.
or want to uphold, then I get it, as you should. But at the same time, it's like you said, managing your money correctly to be able to invest it into other things.
Yeah.
Then your money will grow that way.
100%.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
Yeah. It's a hard one, and it
Yeah.
depends what season you're in your life
Yeah,
as well. Like
definitely.
I know when I worked when I was building my career in the corporate world, I would as a standard do 2 holidays a year, but actually transition into an entrepreneur, that cut down.
Yeah.
So because my priorities changed, my goals
Mm.
slightly changed, because I'm building something, and it's not that I'll never go on 2 holidays again,
Okay.
but it's just actually
Yeah.
right now that's not a priority
Yeah.
because I'm building something.
Yeah.
So yeah, so prioritizing that. But it might be that I don't actually leave the country, but I could
Yeah.
go to another part of the
Like a little
UK.
staycation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think just maybe adapting
Mm.
in some shape or form, but that's an individual thing rather
Yeah,
than
definitely.
you've got to do it. And sometimes, jobs might change. If you lose your job,
Yeah, it's a bit of a sticky one still.
yeah, you'll still try and maintain that lifestyle.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. For
100%.
what? Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
100%. And like you said, when you mentioned the holiday, it just reminded me of like just seeing people on holiday like every 2 months. I'm like, where do you get the money to do that?
I know people nowadays can work from being abroad. Like they could pack their laptop, jump in a plane, and can work from a beach.
But I'm like,
No?
where do you get the money to go on
Because
holiday so
because
often?
it does add up. Like previously, I would say before the pandemic, I felt like flights were a lot cheaper.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now it feels
Definitely.
like it doesn't matter where you go,
Yeah.
it adds up.
Even to stay somewhere in Europe, it's
Yeah,
so expensive.
yeah, it does add
Literally.
up. So I don't know where maybe they're doing 3 jobs.
Maybe. Maybe. Or finding deals somewhere. Who
Yeah.
knows?
And again, priorities. So you might be saving for your house, someone else might be
Yeah.
Trying to go on
traveling.
holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it depends how one uses
Yeah.
their money, really.
Okay.
So yeah, so you still on the making money side, or
I won't lie. I feel like I am swayed to be in the middle as well. But I do feel like money needs to be
yeah,
made.
no, it's true. It's true.
Like money definitely
You,
needs to
you
be
do,
made.
yeah. And I think definitely the way for a lot of young adults, I feel like a lot of them sometimes have like multiple jobs
Yeah.
and like 0-hour contracts. And I
Yeah.
think in those scenarios, definitely, because you're not really making much. It's really hard to build
Yeah.
in that way.
Literally.
So I can see how if that is your situation, then making money would be a big priority. But if you're in a graduate scheme or you've got a secure job,
Yeah.
actually probably managing money is going to be probably a
Yeah.
bit of a
Yeah.
priority for you because you've got that regular income. I think what makes people uncomfortable is when they don't have that regular income.
Yeah.
But equally, if your goal, if you're trying to strive for something, it might make sense that
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
for a
no,
year
definitely.
you're going to take on another job and you're going to focus on making money.
True.
But I think when your health starts to get compromised,
Yeah, then we need to question that.
Exactly.
yeah, for me it's a no.
Yeah.
Not when you start playing around with health.
Yeah.
But then I feel like some people they don't care
It's a personal choice.
Yeah.
For me, health is your wealth.
as well. 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I think it's an individual. If I was to sum it up, I would say it's an individual preference.
Yeah.
I think they complement each other.
Yeah.
Equally, if you haven't made anything, how are you going to
Manage
manage
it.
it?
Yeah,
Manage
100%, I get
anything?
that.
And I think we can all do something to, if we're looking to make changes
Yeah.
in our finances, I think
100%.
we can do that by having a review
Yeah.
and seeing what's working for us and what's not working for
See what
us.
subscriptions you have for.
To be
you have
honest,
cancelled.
because I feel like if I look at some of my
Oh,
subscriptions,
okay.
I can't let some of them go.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
But what if you was to okay, so let's say you pay for a subscription that's like £50 a month,
Yeah.
and this is, I don't know, watching TV. But actually you could put that into an investment account
Mm.
and that could be making you money. Is watching TV more of a priority.
I
than-
say just borrow your mum's Netflix. Let
I'm
us
telling
you.
but the thing is, I am the Netflix that they borrow. So,
yeah.
but I get what you mean. When you're talking about investments, okay, yeah, like I feel like that's something I could definitely sacrifice. But honestly, I was just thinking like, what Disney Plus though? What
Yeah.
Netflix though?
I think you got a lot of time on your hands.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Any final comments on the topic?
No, I feel like I'm definitely in the middle now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can see the good points from both sides. But definitely like finding that balance between the both.
Yeah,
I think is
100%.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I would say this. I would say, yeah. I think maybe 60-40.
For making money. 60.
60 is
Yeah.
making money, 40 is
Yeah.
managing, because
Fair.
essentially you do need to manage to be able to distribute to the different aspects of your life. So
Yeah.
you definitely need to manage money.
Mm.
Otherwise, like, you would just have all this cash, you won't even know what to do with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Equally, you could be, because you're now earning more, you're
Yeah.
now spending more.
True.
And so that lifestyle creep starts to creep in.
It's
Yeah.
true. You know what they say, more money, more problems.
Literally. So there you have it.
Yes.
Making money, managing your money.
Yes.
I guess it's a personal preference on what you think you should do, but I think we all agree that actually having a combination of both is definitely going to help you with your finances. But let us know what you think. Thank you so much for tuning in to Money on the Table. We hope you found it interesting and you'll join us again. See ya.